Hello, all. Wishing that it's a beautiful morning for everyone. So, today, what I felt while reporting, I thought I would discuss this case. Sometimes, what happens is like why it came to my mind to just record this slide. Like, sometimes it feels being a pathologist, sometimes it feels like being a detective. And same I felt in this case. So, I'm going to discuss a case of a 45-year-old female who is a known case of chronic kidney disease, and she was on dialysis for last few years, and she's also a known case of hypertension and hypothyroidism, and she also complained of irregular menstrual cycle for last 4 years. So now why she has come to hospital? Now she suddenly started having sudden onset of breathlessness, and her urine output had decreased for last 2 months. And when she was admitted for this, when the investigations were done, the basic investigations were done, she presented to be with pancytopenia. Her hemoglobin was around 9 gram per deciliter. Then total leukocyte count was around 2800 per cubic millimeter, and platelet were around 50,000. So this becomes a case of pancytopenia on peripheral smear. So still the cause was not known, and then when we inquired the history from the clinical part clinicians, then they said they are thinking in terms of some hemolytic anemia, could be like atypical, has the atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome, because the clinical picture were maybe matching with those findings which the clinician appreciated. But now we were not getting a cause, because pancytopenia, when you evaluate on peripheral smear, so there must be a cause that why the peripheral smear is showing you reduction in all the three cell lines, that is RBC, WBC and platelets. So then you need to be fishy and you need to further investigate. So further investigation which lies in our hand is to evaluate the bone marrow aspiration and biopsy in detail. So for this patient, bone marrow aspiration and biopsy was done to know the cause. So then I'll tell you what is the finding, what we saw on bone marrow aspirate. So just hold on, I'll focus few cells and then we'll continue with the lecture. So just see, OMG, this is such a hypercellular smear. So bone marrow aspirate, when we examine, so bone marrow aspiration, first we see the cellularity of the marrow. So cellularity is 100 minus age of the patient. So here the age of the patient is 45. So cellularity should have been around 55%. But you see in this low power image only we are seeing studded cells, back-to-back arrangement of the cells. Like it's a hypercellular marrow for age. We need to say this. So then this is a low power image. Now we are sure that this is not some normal marrow, because these are very cellular marrow according to the age. Then we need to go to a bit higher power. Then let's see what is there. So this is the bit higher power, 10x. The earlier one was the 4x, which we saw for assessing the cellularity. Now this is 10x. Here what I can appreciate, because see, I am into seeing the slides regularly. So what I am seeing is these could be some plasma cells, the sheets of plasma cells which I am appearing. But I am thinking I may be wrong, because I need to see it under high power. Because see, plasma cell problem is not common at this age. So we need to see, because when we examine marrow, we need to see detail what is the erythropoiesis status, what is the leukopoiesis status, and what is the myelopoiesis, erythropoiesis and megakaryocyte status. So here we are not seeing all those cells, but we are seeing something different. So sheets of plasma cells we are seeing. Let me go to more high power. Yes, my doubt was right. So these all are sheets of singly scattered plasma cells, and you are seeing many binucleated, multinucleated plasma cells. In this focus we are seeing the atypical plasma cells, and I'll show you another focus where we'll see binucleated and multinucleated plasma cells also, and few scattered neutrophils and everything you can appreciate. But how a single plasma cell looks like, it's a very large, you can say moderate to large cell with eccentrically placed nucleus, and there is a perinuclear halo which you can see. So these all are plasma cells, and we are seeing mitotic figures also in this image. So we can see many plasma cells are there, and this marrow, when we examine it in detail, more than 75% different in the differential count, more than 75% of the cells are plasma cells only. Here you can see cytoplasm is showing a feathery projections, irregular nuclei. So all these are the atypical plasma cells which we can appreciate. And I'll show you one large megakaryocytes also. Megakaryocytes are there. In this marrow, all the cell lines are suppressed, but we can see some dysmorphic feature. So we can see dyserythropoiesis. Erythropoietic cells are few are micronomoblasts, few are megaloblasts. So, but they are decreased in number because plasma cell is capturing the majority of the fraction. So in this image also you can see numerous plasma cells which are varying in shape and size with cytoplasmic projection. Few will show your nucleoli. So all these are after this diagnosis what we thought after evaluating all the smears. So we gave. So now our role as detective has been justified because what was the clinical picture? It did not correlate with our current bone marrow aspirate finding. So initially the diagnosis thought to be was atypical hemolytic uremic syndrome, but now we are getting a diagnosis of multiple myeloma, or you can say plasma cell dyscrasia. So when we give a diagnosis of plasma cell dyscrasia, now it's a eureka finding, eureka, it becomes like we become more like inquisitive. So what could be the underlying pathology and what are the other features underlying what patient is presenting with, so we need to know about it. So there are certain criteria like whether we need to know like whether what is the calcium level of the patient. So before that, now when we give the diagnosis as plasma cell dyscrasia, we need to say that what other investigation you have to advise the clinician what other investigation could be done. So for this, first investigation which we'll advise is your serum and urine electrophoresis. So we need to have that M band for multiple myeloma, and then we might need to go for some cytogenetic study also. So then our job is over. So now we'll wait for our biopsy also. Biopsy will show the similar feature. You will see sheets of within the bony trabeculae, you see sheets of all the marrow elements are replaced by your sheets of plasma cells. Atypical plasma cells are like your binucleated, multinucleated with prominent nucleoli. Fine. So all these are investigations are advised, and then a diagnosis of plasma cell dyscrasia like multiple myeloma can be given. So now our role has been justified that yes, we behave like detectives in certain conditions where the diagnosis from the clinical point of view does not match to your pathological diagnosis. And then when you diagnose a case of this kind of plasma cell dyscrasia, you need to follow the patient for certain graph features. Like you need to know whether the patient is not having hypercalcemia or any kind of renal insufficiency, because in this case, patient had serum creatinine which we retrospectively saw was 6. So that is highly alarming because normal serum creatinine is your 0.8 to 1.2. That is a very critical value. So this patient had 6. So there is marked renal insufficiency which is going on in the patient. So then you need to see any lytic lesion, because myeloma is prone to have this bony lytic lesion. So we need to evaluate the skeletal survey is to be done. So all those things, bone scan, all those things are very important. Anemia. This patient had and has anemia, and because she had hemoglobin of around 9. So anemia and renal insufficiency is justified. We know the proof. We saw the marrow aspirate, and then now we need to know whether the patient is having hypercalcemia or any bony lesion. So that will add to our diagnosis. So hope this interesting case led us to think, evaluate, and yes, one important thing, age. Age of this patient is 45, and usually we see multiple myeloma in elderly. Like you can see around 60, 55, 60, 70 years of age. But this is very early presentation of multiple myeloma. But now in the current scenario, age is just a number, as we say, for our growing age. So it is just a number for cancerous lesion also. So the age does not justify that this age group will not have this cancer. So you have to be alert, keep your eyes open when you evaluate a patient, whether clinically or pathologically. Have a nice day.